Hi guys, happy day. This is Bharat here from Shree Rajamathangi Academy. I am a company secretary by profession. You all know that I am an institute for ICAI and ICSI and also in the universities with the guest lecturing and also an adjunct faculty in Shiv Nadar University. So this is going to be a session for what is going to be the important questions or what is that you wanted to expect for a CA inter law examination. You have just a week ahead of what is that for your exams. It is going to start in a couple of days for accounts and then you will have law. Very crucial timing. I don't wanted to spend time on you coming live so that it may or may not be available for you as the time that progresses. So we wanted to just go ahead with a recording session and then give it to you so that any people can watch. So it should be easy. Now this particular sheet that I have shared as a PDF is going to be the expected questions which I've already prepared 1.5 months before for your law examinations. Extra weightage has to be given. We usually say expected questions is subject to market risk. Read the institute material and my notes for better understanding so that you can avoid the risk. So that's going to be very crucial for us to know. Anyways, if you would have got all these questions, great. You can cover it from there. If you have not got the questions, you can anytime WhatsApp me. I will give you the WhatsApp number and you can come back to me getting it at a cost. Now, this is going to be very crucial. Apart from this, I have got something more for you to say what is going to be there for the questions that's expected from you for your May 2023 exams. We always say paper 2 getting an exemption is very crucial for a simple reason. It is between accounts and costing. So you need to give your efforts. So if you have an exemption in law, it is going to give you enormous confidence for you to clear your group 1 examination for your CA intermediate. So paper 2, are you guys ready to get an exemption in law? We always say longevity personified. That means it's law is not just for exams, it is for life. So what are we going to cover? I'm not going to take too much of your time because you would have already started finishing up your revision aspects also. So nothing is going to amaze you on that last 2-3 days, but some crucial aspects I'm going to tell for some 15-20 minutes, and that's going to be absolutely enough for you to cover up your examinations. Now, what I have done here, I wanted to tell you what questions they have asked in the November 22 exams and what is expected in May 23, because sometimes we don't use this smart works to find out what question has already been asked in the last attempt. We study everything and everything. So yes, hard work is important. Yes, smart work is important, but more importantly, you need to know what are the questions that's already been asked on your last examinations so that it becomes easier for you to cover. Analysis of the questions for May 2023 exams. What is there in November 22? I am not going to concentrate on November 22 major, but against that, I will give you some expected questions, which will have a touch base with my full-fledged expected questions. So whatever questions I'm covering here is for your last minute revision. That is going to be obviously, which has been shared like 1.5 months before. This I do it for all the papers, like including CA, CMA, and CS. And you can expect that in the month of May for other June examinations as well for CMA and CS. Yes. Now coming back to the point, I wanted you to go till the end of the video so that you make it really, really strong for you to understand what is going to be there. First, let's try to understand how many chapters are there for company law. There are totally 10 chapters. That's for CA intermediate. The number 1 is preliminary, which is your definitions. Number 2 is incorporation of the company and incidental matters there too. Number 3, chapter number 3, prospectus and allotment of securities. Number 4, share capital and debentures. Number 5, acceptance and repayment of deposits. Number 6, charges. You will talk about registration. You will talk about satisfaction. You will talk about memorandum of satisfaction. Yes. Chapter number 7 is management and administration. Chapter number 8 is dividend. Chapter number 9 is accounts of companies. Chapter number 10 is audit and auditors. This is for your company law. For other law, you will have Indian Contract Act 1872, which concentrate only on the special contracts because basics you have already covered in CA Foundation. The second is Negotiable Instruments Act 1872. Then you have IOS and GCA. Anyways, you would have touched base with my Instagrams on what are the expected questions, each and everything I would have highlighted here. On some crucial aspects I would have done. If you have not connected with me on the Instagram, yes, I will also share that in the description box. You will be able to connect it, and that's going to be enough for you to go for a full coverage, even if you are writing a November 23 exams. Now, I have told just what is going to be there in Indian contract and negotiables. I also should tell that there is another act called General Clauses Act 1897, and one more is negotiable, the interpretation of statutes, which is interconnected with your General Clauses Act 1897. I've already done that as serial, and that's what I was about to talk about. Yes, November 22 exam paper was quite easy because the expected questions that I wanted to cover was also there. And obviously, you know how it has to be covered through this video. Now, what is that they have already asked? They have asked about debentures. So this time you are going to study about buyback of securities from section 68 to 70. From 68 to 70 is going to be there for you. So you should try to understand what is going to be there. If at all you wanted the sheet, you can again come back to me. I'll be able to help you on this. So yes, so section 68 to 70 is going to be important for you in this particular examination. Most importantly, many people read law as law. Yes, absolutely correct. But are you in touch with the accounting also? Because based on the accounts, how a problem is asked in accounts, exactly ICA is asking now for law also. So when you have a scenario-based question or a case-based question, you will have to ensure how you will connect it to accounts. Exactly they are asking. So accounts is a very major important base for you to cover your law also. For example, buyback of securities. You will have accounting problems in CA intermediate, but there also the notes would have given, but you would not study the notes. You will go directly to the problems. But for the provisions, you will come directly here because you will not have any calculations here. Directly you will go inside. But if you are strong in accounting, yes, buyback of securities also is going to be really, really, really crucial. So this time expect section 68 to 70, and this is forming part of your alteration of share capital, because alteration of share capital will start from section 61 to 68. Some people are allergic to the sections, but I would not say it is allergic. It is just practice. When you practice 4 or 5 times and write 2 or 3 times, the section numbers are already going to be there. Why I did not quote section number here, but I'm writing is so that you can get the grip of what is actually going to be there on some important provisions. So next is disqualification. Every time there will be a question that's asked in the disqualification. So last time they asked, which is going to be on ADT. Guys, if you understand, what am I doing? I told share capital and debentures. So SCD, ADT is going to be audit and auditors, which is chapter number 10. So this time they might ask you appointment of auditors. It can be for a government company. It can be for an other than government company. It can be for a first auditor, or it can be a subsequent auditor. They can ask you this question. Removal, again, very crucial for your examinations. How you will remove the auditor before the expiry of his term. Anyways, you will touch on your prohibited services, because all those are negative shade questions. What and all is prohibited, they might also ask you. But I'm saying when you say removal, you will automatically read prohibitions also. They asked a question on guarantee last time. This time, discharge of surety can be asked in the examination. In my notes and materials and videos, I would have clearly given what are the modes of discharge, how the surety will be there, on what basis, whether it is going to be through the debtor or through the creditor or by himself or other parties. All this I would have told my notes very, very clearly. You can study it from there. Next, agent and legal representative. They asked it from NIA. What is Negotiable Instruments Act? It is 1881 that they are talking about. Negotiable Instruments Act. This time they can ask you endorsement. That means signing at the back or on the face of the negotiable instrument. What is negotiable? Transferable. What and all can be transferable? Promissory note, bill of exchange, and check. Bill of exchange includes check, but separately check also we will cover. All this they might ask you. Usually, next question. They generally ask AGM, but last time they asked EGM from MGT. What is MGT? Management and Administration. All the form numbers I am telling. For example, ADT is the form name for chapter number 10. And MGT is the form name for chapter number 7, which talks about the general meeting. So last time they asked about the extraordinary general meeting. This time they might ask you majorly on the annual general meeting, and that too majorly on the during the meeting. What is there during the meeting? I always use a mnemonic called QCPVR. QCPVR. Quorum, chairman, proxy, voting, resolutions. I'll again repeat. QCPVR is quorum, chairman, proxy, voting, resolutions. Any question can come. Go and connect with your RTP, MTP, which I have already touched on with the expected questions which I wanted to give you. It will be really, really helpful. Next, no adequate profits for the company. How I will declare and pay the dividend. That's the previous question. I usually tell this question is important. Last time they asked this. So this time they can ask you section 127 that they are going to talk about on exemptions on dividend. Now, if you wanted to declare dividend and if you have not done it within 30 days, you will be penalized. You will have a punishment. Can you escape from the punishment? The answer is yes. That is called exemptions from declaration and payment of dividend. They will ask this question very crucially. There are 5 points I would have discussed detailed on this video, on the video recorded classes, and also in my notes. That should be easier. If at all you wanted to study it from the study material also, you can do it. There is a chart available. Next, revocation of authority in Indian Contract Act. So this is DVD, dividend. This is going to be chapter number 7. This is going to be NIA 1881. This is going to be ICA 1872. Don't forget to write the years when there is going to be an act. It is like an initial for a name. So important. Revocation of authority, they ask this time co-owners that they can ask you from the Indian Contract Act. Joint owners or co-owners, anything, how they are joint and severally liable, how they wanted to do it. This joint and several liability can be in Indian Contract Act also. Last time they asked about the maturity of negotiable instrument in NIA, which is a problem-made question. And this time they can ask you, without consideration, can there be a negotiable instrument? Very important provision. Every time that they wanted to ask anything from negotiable instrument, they will ask this question. So no doubt if they ask me, so don't thank me. It is going to be always my pleasure. Next, listed company amendment question. They asked it from the definition, which is preliminary. So listed company already are. So this time periodical financial results, section 129, capital A, they might ask you. You know financial statements, you know financial information because we would have studied in law, we would have studied in auditing also, correct? But here they will talk about periodical financial results, but I did not talk about small company. They might ask us, but how many times you will say this is an amendment question and you will again and again talk about this. So I wanted to bring something new called periodical financial results. I am happy if you can finish your small company also as it's an amendment. Adopted and unadopted financial statement, section 137 from accounts of companies already asked. So this time they can ask you 135 CSR, their limits, the regulations and the amendments that is actually there from the 2011 amendments. What are all that? It is going to be there. CSR section 128, 135 and BOA, books of accounts 128. When you say books of accounts, obviously you will connect books and records, books and papers. Obviously you will connect with your financial statements also. So when you read 128, you will touch on 129 also. 135 CSR, there is a good chance that they can ask you. So you can write the notes along with that. CSR section 135, BOA is 128. Next, dishonor. Dishonor of a negotiable instrument, definitely, generally they will ask you. Last time they asked. So this time they can ask you crossing of checks. General crossing, special crossing, all this it is going to be there. And it is going to be relating to whatever not negotiable, account payee, whatever they wanted to. There are 5 types of crossing and penalties with appeal. Can you go and appeal against an authority negotiable instrument? Yes. What is the amount you will have to pay as a deposit? How much you will have to do it? If you win the case, what will happen? If you don't win the case, what will happen? All that they might ask you, which is your last section of your Negotiable Instruments Act. So till now, are you clear? So I wanted you to listen to this 2-3 times so that you get the grip of it. Why I wanted to finish it as quickly as possible is you might know it, but if you don't know it, listen to it 2-3 times, it's going to be there. Grammatical and logical interpretation, very unique question that they have asked from IOS. Yes, it's an important question, but unique. This time, any one of the internal aids that they can ask you, there are 10 internal aids, preamble, marginal notes, anything they can ask you, but I have told as preamble, read all the 10, give more importance to preamble and marginal note. Next, last time they have asked how you will alter share capital. What is AOAC, alteration of share capital? Section 61 to 68 is alteration, but the ways and methods of altering is section 61. So this time, I already told you buyback is going to come or it might come. So what is remaining, which is important? Rights issue, bonus issue. 62, 63 section numbers, they can ask you majorly with a case-based question. So there is a good chance. Next, amount of deposits from public, that is section 676. That is what they have touched on with the base provision and section 76 there. This time, what and all is not considered as deposit. Whatever amount you give, that is not considered as deposit. There are some exemptions. From there, they will ask you one of the question. So be very, very careful. Amount not considered. Always I concentrate on negative shade question also, because easily that they can ask there in the examination. Next is service of documents from General Clause Act. Very normal question. Service of document, you should understand one more thing. Service of document is there in General Clause Act. Service of document is there in Incorporation of Company in Companies Act as well. So, two service of documents are there. Both of them have already been asked in the November 22 exam. So, important definitions only they will ask you. What are the two important definitions? I have just told a day or two before that in my Insta Reels on that what is immovable property and what is there covered as another definition, which is called good faith. So immovable property is here, good faith is here, because official gazette they have already asked from General Clauses Act. So I am connecting this and this. So this two alone I am connecting and say General Clauses Act. There is a good chance that they can ask you immovable property, which is from section 3 subsection 26 of General Clause Act 1897, which usually should have been defined actually in Transfer of Property Act 1882, but they have not done. So all this we have already told that in the Insta Reels also. So just get connected. Next is immovable property. I have told ejusdem generis. It is going to be your primary and secondary rule connection. Primary rule majorly, secondary rule you will have contemporaneous exposure, nocitario societies. You can glance that those two important jargons are there, and majorly they will ask you one of the basic general constructions. How many general constructions are there? 6 are there. In that, the Haydo's rule or Hayden's rule will be asked in the examination, or harmonious construction can be asked, because these two are frequently asked question. So you cannot deny that. So if you have already analyzed, you know what I am talking about. Next, civil liability, very unique question that but we have already covered that in our video classes. Civil liability, criminal liability. Civil will concentrate on Civil Procedure Code 1908. Criminal procedure will be covered through Code of Criminal Procedure 1973. All that I would have told it neatly in the videos that they have asked. So the students who got covered under me should have easily written it, because they would have no problem on that. This time they can ask you securities to be dealt in stock exchanges, where they are going to talk about one of the important question called underwriters commission payment. For shares, what is the underwriter commission? For debentures, what is going to be there? They might ask a case-based question. Are we clear? Next, I already told you segregation. The service of documents that is going to be there in incorporation. How you segregate the documents, and by giving it by either courier or speed post or post, or directly giving it to the office. That's what they already asked. So don't concentrate on that question. They might ask you order of NCLT in incorporation. That means when you wanted to remove a company, if the company has not given proper details when you wanted to incorporate, what will be the order of tribunal? I would have done with the mnemonics in that. So, or there are 5 points if you wanted to read from the study material, it's going to be important. Clauses of MOA, name clause, situation clause, maximum they will ask you. Case-based question on object clause they will ask you. Why am I not talking about liability clause? Because liability clause is already there in chapter number 4, share capital and debentures. So clauses you can concentrate. Very rarely they ask you doctrines, ultra vires, indoor management, constructive notice. But the exceptions to indoor management and applicability of constructive notice, you can glance it and keep. I am only telling one question which are crucial. That does not mean other questions are not. I am giving you, if this is asked last time, what can be asked this time? That's what I'm doing it. It does, you know that it is not going to be an easy job doing a expected question for a CA institute, but still we are trying our level best and we have already done it before. Next is satisfaction of charges. They have already asked in charges, so they are not going to ask you again. I hope again they will not, 99% they will not ask. Memorandum of satisfaction of charge they can ask you. Charges types they can ask you, fixed charge, floating charge, or charges before 2/11/2018, what will happen? Charges on or after 2/11/2018, what will happen? They are going to ask you this time. Might be in a case law also or in an MCQ. Don't underestimate the MCQs. I would have done one-liners in my classes for almost every chapter, and it is going to be covered also. From that, if you study 30 marks, you can easily get 26, 27 marks guaranteed, because there is going to be nothing beyond. Why I leave the 2-3 marks? Because there will always be a confusion that can happen. We cannot guarantee full 100%, but yes, when you get 26, 27, you are almost passing in your interlaw, because it's only hardly 13 marks. Some any 2-3 questions of case law, if you write also, you can pass. But the motive is not to pass the examination. The motive is to ensure that law is for life and it is for knowledge, not just for studying the examinations and finishing it. Okay, that's very important. Duties of daily they have asked you. So if the bailment is asked, pledge they can ask you. Rights and duties of pledge. Pledge means pana or pani. They can ask you rights and duties of pana, rights and duties of pani. You know, right of the pana is the duty of pani, vice versa. So you can study. Official gazette, they have already asked you. This time, good faith, they can ask you. One crucial question is there in General Clause Act, which is called effect of repeal. What is the effect if you repeal a particular provision in the General Clause Act? That also is a frequently asked question. So I will say EOR, effect of repeal. There is a good chance that they can ask you in the examination. So I'm very, very happy to do this. I don't want it to take too much of a time, but I wanted to shrink it in such a way that I give you maximum amount, so that I've done my workings, so that you can come back to me anytime on this. I have given my mobile number. You can come back to me on the videos. You can come back to me on the amendments. You can come back to me on the expected questions, or if you are going to write your November 23 exams, the videos are already available. You can come back to me. I have given my name. I have given my mobile number. You can WhatsApp me. And I'm really happy that I can help you on doing this. We have already done it enormous amount of times in the past. We also wanted to do this. All the very best for your exams. There will be one more YouTube video just exactly after the accounts exam got completed on what you will have to do on that 1.5 days for your law. So just wait for it. You can give your comments on the comment section and subscribe for it. Please share it to the people, so that people will know that that law also can be studied very easily like this, and they can also get benefited. Thank you. Have a great day. Keep visualizing. God bless. Thank you.